Hello! Today I'm going to show you how to put together the Penguin Christmas box card from Simply Crafty SVGs. So this is what the card looks like. It's a different card that I made. But first we're going to piece together the penguin so you got a good idea of what the penguin looks like. So we're going to go, it's a little bit, you could always like line it up and in your software and print and cut all the pieces. You just have to layer them, but this is how we manually do it. So I'm going to take the little circle from the top of the hat first, put that on, and then we're going to put the rim of the hat on, and on the final card I'll add a little bling to it by adding little stickles glue. It's glitter glue. I love stickles. It just adds a little bling. My favorite color is diamond because it's just clear and you can put it over any color. Then I'm going to use, I'm throwing around the pick me up tool, but I'm putting two little dots for the eyes, and they're upside down. That little piece is upside down. Nonetheless, using my pick me up tool to place those two eyes however you want them. I kind of had them at an angle. Then we'll glue the hat onto the black piece, the back piece. That'll help us piece it all together. This is actually not that bad except for some of the small pieces. And we next add the white front of the penguin. Those little bottom edges match up to where the feet start and end. The left and right of the feet, I should say. And the feet will overlap. So we're going to add glue to, it's just easier to add it to the black piece. And then we'll just carefully place the feet. And I should have added just a dot of glue on that white right above it, as it was hard to get it to stick with that little amount of glue. So just make sure you just put a little bit of glue above that, and then I use the other side of this pick me up tool to get that down there. So just have to add the eyes, so we'll flip it around the right way. And then I'm not going to use that little tool, I'm just going to carefully place them right below the rim of the hat. And then the beak, you can add glue to the actual beak, or I just added just a little bit of the glue where it's going to go. I went a little bit high with the glue. But there's no, just wherever you think it looks good, and now you just rearrange it a little bit. And then we're going to use, I have this white Jelly Roll gel pen that I use to add these white accents on the eyes. It's one of my favorite types of pens that I've used over the years. Now we're going to piece together the presents that will go on to the front of the card. So I do put this on first. In the lower right hand corner, it's just a little square, the square present. This is what it looks like. It is, in hindsight, if you're watching this, it's not going to help you, but if you put this one on first, it would have been better, but it'll fit. Or you can lift it up, but it fits just fine. Just match it up. Then add the final two bows, one on the square and then one on that left. And I didn't get enough glue there. I just tap a little glue to hold that down so it doesn't flip up. And those are ready to put on when we're ready to do it. So these little snowflakes will center on those larger panels. And the way I do this with the fine, it's really helpful with the fine tip applicator, obviously. But I just put a dot of glue on each of the tips and like in between. So you don't need a lot of glue, you just need it to hold. So if you have something like this, or like a pen zig 2-way pen, that helps for intricate pieces as well. And try to center it in the first try best I can, so there's not a lot of glue leakage from the edges. But if you put minimal amount of glue, you won't see that. And that's the reason for the dots. Because sometimes I'm pretty messy with my glue. And then we'll center that second one. Then after this, I kind of added a little bling. I put a couple rhinestones in the middle of these two. So just use this one to scrap. I got these from a scrapbook expo that I went to. And they're self-adhesive, so they sometimes I have to add a little more glue just because the adhesive's always not that great. But these are pretty good. And I like the little color it gives it. So I'll put those aside for when I put them on there. So now this card is heavy piecing together things, but we're going to put that little light, it's kind of a light blue in the background. We glued that top first little igloo door opening. So piece that together. And then again, this is kind of an intricate cut. So what I did around this to put the glue is put it around the edge, because that's the thickest piece. And then just added dots here and there so the center pieces would adhere. So it's not necessary to put glue everywhere, but just dot it in there so when you put it down, it will adhere in places and not stick up. So that one's easier for me to start from the bottom, line it up on the bottom, and then pick it up before it really kind of gets adhered, and then make sure that it's lined up with the back panel. Doesn't have to be perfect. If one little thing's sticking out, it's not a big deal with anything that's pieced. And here again, I'm just adding glue to each of the larger sections and around. And this is the longest. I just want to make sure that there's no glue close to the openings or edges, so it doesn't leak out and cause any kind of smearing. Or doesn't matter what glue I use, they all leave some sort of residue. I have one more glue to try that I haven't tried yet, and we'll see if that one works. But anyways, to avoid it completely, just carefully place your glue. And that wasn't lined up like I wanted it to, but it wasn't exactly centered, but you can't really tell. So don't think you have to be exactly perfect. So I'm going to move those away, and we're going to pull the card pieces out. So I'm going to fold these pieces so that's the penguin insert. So those fold backwards, and then that's the front of the card. And this is the tree insert, so I fold it backwards, the tabs backwards and then forwards to get it ready for placing later. So now I'm just going to, because it's easier to do so now, I'm going to add those panels. So I'm adding the side panels, and then I'll add the middle panel. I had inked the sides of these panels, and for some reason they smeared a little bit, so if you see something, that's what you're seeing. Make sure I'm in view here. So I'm just centering these panels. And I'm not going to put those, that's how that insert's going to go, so you can see it. But I didn't want to put the side, the reason I didn't put the snowflakes on yet or anything, because I don't want them to get ruined when I was folding it or get anything on them. So here we're going to add this back, the igloo to the back. So there's two pieces that are shaped like that back piece. The larger one is for the card, and the smaller one, you'll see it's called a panel. It's for an optional back panel for a written sentiment. So I just want to make sure it's lined up. So I can just see it's lined up at the top. And then we'll put this front door, igloo door piece. It kind of just fits right there. It'd be fun to be popped up a little bit too. I just didn't pop it up, but I probably would do that on a feature card. I'll make another one for some family, so I'll pop it up. And the tree will fit right into the tree insert. And you might want to make sure for the insert that that it's arranged correctly, so the tree should be on the left. Because you could easily flip it over and do it the other way. I mean, you could always flip it over if you wanted to put the penguin on the left, but you have to do them opposite. So we're just going to, again, just like the tree, put the penguin that we pieced together earlier. Just fit it into that little shape on the insert. If you wanted to put like a different like penguin, you could always use your software to slice out this penguin shape on the insert and add your own character. Just giving you some ideas if you wanted to customize if you had another penguin or something else that you really like a snowman, you could do that easily using some of the features and some of the software. So we want to make sure that the igloo's facing towards us when it's closed, so it's upside down right now, and as we went to line up that edge to the tab fold, so you can see we can't see the igloo, and that's the reason why. So make sure that's arranged right before you glue it, and then go ahead and fold over the other tab, and then it kind of is a little flimsy there, so you want to make sure you match up that other edge to the tab fold and make sure that the bottom is aligned with the bottom of the side as well. So that's the basics, the basic structure. And we're going to add these two inserts. So we want the tabs facing backwards, or towards the back I should say, and we want it to put the inserts down far enough so you can't see them above that curve in the front. So if you could see how far I'm putting, I'm not going to give you like, it could be like about a ½ an inch or so down, but you just want to do it a little lower so you can see the penguin pop up, but you don't necessarily want to see the insert. And make sure that that tab end touches the back of the card, and it's attached to the sides, but towards the back of the sides. So that'll get it so that the penguin's in the back, and then the next insert will be a little bit further forward, but that gives us spacing between the inserts. And you can see, I try to get as close as possible, and I'm trying to do it exactly the same distance from the top as the other side. And when you fold it down, it kind of self-adjusts if it's still wet. So now we're going to pull the tabs forward this time and put glue on. We're going to do one side at a time. Though I always do one side at a time because otherwise I think glue's going to get everywhere. And we want now the tab to be facing towards the front of the card. Again, this is just for spacing. And put it about the same depth, because we do not want to see the actual insert when you're looking at the front. I mean, you can see it from the top, obviously. Then we'll put the other one across from it. And my tip always for the inserts when you're doing this is on the second insert, the second tab of the insert, I should say, is to put it down where you think it is across from it, best you can. And while it's still kind of slightly wet, flatten it. And when you flatten it, there's where it's placed. When you flatten it, it usually self-adjusts to make sure that it gets in the right place. And then I flatten it again to make sure that I'm getting those tabs good and secure. And that's the basic card. I mean, we're just going to have to add the elements on the front and then on the side. So you'll notice I don't have a sentiment included with this, but I did include an optional little word panel that you could use. I have it on my final card. I just stamped an image. I had a stamp that was sized to fit within that, but you can use anything. I just included it if you wanted to use it. But it's not on this card. And then we added a double sticky foam tape on the back of the snowflakes. We're just going to match it up so it lines up with the shape on the sides. And the same on the other side. So you just add your own sentiment in the front. Let us know, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever you want to do. And there's the card. And I didn't show you, but there is an optional panel in the back for a sentiment. So I hope you enjoyed this project. I enjoyed making it. It's an idea I've had for quite a while. Thank you for watching.